Here's what's ahead on the rundown. Next, they are leaderless and growing. Protesters on Wall Street want to inspire similar demonstrations across the country. We're going to have a live report from New York. And then Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain says he can fix the economy with a tax plan that he calls 999. But what is it exactly? And then 11:40 Eastern, scientists are finding ways to make objects vanish. It's not magic, it's a mirage. We're going to show you how that works. Well, Wall Street protesters are rallying for a third straight week. Today, thousands of labor union members, they are joining them. The protests have stretched from New York and Boston to Seattle, Los Angeles. The movement is called Occupy Wall Street. Protesters, they've got a lot of messages, but one overall point is how the average American worker is struggling while corporate bosses continue to make millions. So here are the numbers. Let's break it down. Last year, CEOs earned 343 times more than the typical American worker. That's according to the AFL-CIO using Labor Department statistics. And chief executives at the nation's Fortune 500 companies earned an average of $11 million, while the average American worker made about $33,000. 20 years ago, the ratio of executive to worker pay was 42 to 1. So, income inequality. It's not the only thing that the protesters are concerned about. Our own Susan Candiani, she is joining us from the protests in New York's financial district. Susan, you've been covering these protests for days now. You've been talking to folks there. What are they telling you?
You know, these are people who represent various walks of life. There are people who, in fact, are students here. There are a lot of people who are unemployed who have been laid off. Here in this park where they've taken up occupancy for for more than 3 weeks now. And they represent different points of view with different beefs, talking about job cuts, talking about benefits that have been slashed. Lots of things like that, which is why, in part, a lot of unions are coming here today to participate in a demonstration to, frankly, inject more manpower into this movement and possibly make it grow. A couple people who are not camped out, but who coordinated their long-planned vacation to be here today and found out about the march and will participate in it. 4 people who are retired. You are in different lines of work. This is Francine, who had worked as an auditing manager, and Paula, who worked as a drug counselor and therapist. Now, why did you feel it important to join in this protest today? What do you think their message is?
Okay, for one thing, I want to say I'm glad that young people are involved in this protest, but I'm here because I want politicians, our representatives, to know that seniors are also very interested, mature people, and that's what I'm here, because our representatives and our senators are not listening to their constituents. This wouldn't be necessary if they were listening to us and representing what we want to be done. And
how do you think gathering here today will get politicians to listen and do something? Because clearly there is no consensus in Washington right now.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more. I think the more that our politicians see that the people are just totally fed up with what is going on and realize that they are being paid to represent us, the people, the everyday people, not the corporations, and that they need to make laws and pass the laws to benefit the people in the country and not big business. Big business, yes, it's necessary, but we are the people who need the incomes, we need the jobs, we need the health care, and it's not happening. It's not happening.
There seem to be no solutions being offered by this group now and no leader. Does that bother you right now?
No, I think the movement has to start somewhere, okay, and gradually as you go along, like they're refining their goals, making them more focused, okay, and hopefully with having the labor union representatives here today, as well as representatives of some political organizations, the government will see that this is not just a short-term protest. Something has to change in this country. We cannot cut back on education, infrastructure, research and development, climate change, innovation. That has to be funded. And as a senior on fixed income, I'm willing to pay more taxes to do that, as long as the corporations and the top 1% wealthy people in this country pay too. Hear that loud and clear, every senator and representative in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Sounds like you should run, perhaps.
No, I just get out there and try to, educate my friends. The thing is, most people don't have the time to learn what's going on in this country. There's 2 earners in every family. They have kids, okay? They don't have the time to educate themselves so that they know when politicians are lying, and there's plenty of it going on right now on both sides of the aisle.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Obviously, there's a lot of anger out here, a lot of frustration, and a lot of people looking for solutions that so far no one's been able to find. Back to you, Suzanne.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. Next hour, I'm going to talk to Patrick Bruner. He's a 23-year-old college graduate. Says he plans to live at the protest site since he can't find a job.